Okay.
Are we ready? We want to welcome you all to the worldwide Meher Baba family meeting live from Meherabad, India. Um, this is the place of Meher Baba's tomb shrine. We're 5 minutes down the hill. We're about 6 hours inland from Mumbai. And because it is a sacred place of world pilgrimage, we often have people here who come here, who have met Meher Baba, or we have people who want to share their Baba story, or musicians. So we're in a wonderful place and a wonderful opportunity to share with you what we experience all the time here. And today, our guest is going to be Jesse Massa, who lived here many, many, many years. But before we begin with Jesse telling us his Baba story, we begin with a prayer, which is Meher Baba gave a prayer, which is all the names that the people around the world from the different religions, all the names they have that they call God. It's known as the Pravartigar prayer, or as Baba called it, the Master Prayer, but it's also known as the Universal Prayer because it is for everyone. And so that is what we're going to start with, and then we'll come back. After the prayer, we'll come back. We'll have a song by Robin and Zara. We welcome you, or welcome to my world. We'll have that song. Then we'll have Jesse talking. Okay, Robin, you sweet, we're going to do the prayer.
O Pravartigar, the preserver and protector of all, you are without beginning and without end, non-dual, beyond comparison, and none can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible, and none can see you but with eyes divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are everywhere. You are in everything. And you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest on all planes and beyond all planes. You are in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent. You are the Creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent and omnipresent. You are knowledge infinite, power infinite, and bliss infinite. You are the ocean of knowledge, all-knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present, and the future, and you are knowledge itself. You are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. You are the Trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the ancient one, the highest of the high. You are Prabhu and Parameshwar. You are the beyond God and the beyond God also. You are Parabrahma, Allah, Ilahi, Yesdan, Ahura Mazda, and God the Beloved. You are named Izzat, the only one worthy of worship.
Avatar
Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
And Robin is showing our crew on who's here today. which is Prema, Bevan, Zara. You sit down, Robin. I'll show you. This is Robin. I'll go again. Zara, Bevan, Prema. Take over.
Yep.
Myself, Judy. Meet Judy. And Jessie. So we're going to have, we've asked Robin, she knows that song, We Welcome You, which is such a warm, loving one. Or Welcome to My World.
I think Welcome to My World,
welcome
because everybody knows it.
Welcome to My World. Is that too close? No. Welcome to My World. Monty would say that when this song was played out to Baba, it was so sweet. Baba would pantomime that, going, welcome to my world, won't you come on in, like this. Throughout the whole song, he had things that he would move like that. And so it's very touching. It's almost like it's Baba asking us to come into his world. That's why we like to call this the worldwide Meherabad family meeting. Welcome. Okay, Robin's going to play. Let me get back this a little bit, Robin. Whoops. And okay. Both of you? Okay. Doing two, right?
Nope. You follow me. Okay. Otherwise, she takes it over. She's a musician. Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. Step into my heart, leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world, built with you in mind. Knock and the door will open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you will be given the keys to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. Knock and the door will open. Everybody, come on. See and you will find. Ask and you will be given the keys to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here. I'll be waiting here with your arms unfurled, waiting just for you, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. Yes. Avatar Meherabad Hill.
Now, Jessie, get yourself comfortable.
Yeah, my little notes.
And your notes. Jesse got to get his notes where we're over yonder, or? All right. So you can start, Jesse, wherever you want to start on your journey with Meher Baba. where it began and all of that. You just tell it as you want to tell it.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Zara. Thank you, Judy, Devin, Prema, Robin. Thank you so much. So, I guess I'll start with my grandparents. Immigrated to United States, and my mother and father were born there. And I was also born there in the state of Connecticut. Catholic family. My mother was a very devout Catholic, and I was raised in the Catholic Church, altar boy.
Where did you come from? Italy?
My grandparents came from Italy, and then to USA.
Yeah.
My parents were born in USA,
Yeah.
in Connecticut.
Okay.
And I took my education there, took my spiritual training from Catholic Church, was an altar boy, and spent my youth there in Connecticut, educated there. At 17, Baba enlisted me in the Marine Corps,
Oh.
and I spent 4 years there as a U.S. Marine.
What year was that, Jesse?
1964.
The Vietnam?
Vietnam,
War?
yes, I
Wow.
went to Vietnam, and
On the ship? You went
I
on,
flew over on a plane. They flew us
you were in the
from.
Marine?
Yes, I was in the United States Marine Corps Infantry, and went over there and had the experience of that, and being 4 years in the Marine Corps, where the programming there is was intense hatred of everything, hatred of the enemy, hatred of your. So it was really a time that sometimes I feel that for the amount that you can really go one way, you can go the other. So the amount that I really hated to be in the Marines, but was, and had to fight in the war, now I think it's compensated for by the love. So anyway, at 21 I was discharged, and began the life of San Francisco. Went out and lived in San Francisco with the hippie community there. And
Haight-Ashbury?
Haight-Ashbury,
What
on
year
the
was
corner
that?
of
What year was that,
Haight-Ashbury in
Jesse?
1968.
1968?
Yeah. So I went out there and of
I
course
was there
tried
too.
everything.
Three of us in
The
this
people
room were
were
there.
trying then. It was a wonderful time. I don't know. I always felt that this period of 1968, 69, 67 coincided somehow with Baba's great seclusion in Meherabad. He was pouring out such love over the world, and that time everything seemed to be different. Flower power, and it was just a really nice time to be in San Francisco, in the USA, and experience all that I had there with a lot of psychedelic experiences and everything. But eventually that time passed, and I came back to Florida and
Why
took
did
up.
the time pass?
Well, 2 years passed in that lifestyle, living the hippie lifestyle.
Then why did you decide to leave?
I decided to go continue with college because I had been a veteran. I had veterans money to pay, and I went.
Where did you go?
I went to Miami-Dade Community College in Florida.
Yeah.
My family had moved to Florida when I was 16, so now we're moved. Then I'm at the college there, still very much into the hippie lifestyle, and I had a professor in Eastern philosophy, and he said, two men are coming to speak about their master in India. And those of you who want to go in the class, please feel free to, attend this lecture and da-da-da. It might be very interesting. So, I have nothing to do, So I jumped up to the lecture there. I didn't know who was coming, what it was about.
Who was your professor?
Professor Dunn was his name.
Done?
Dunn, D-U-N-N.
Dunn,
Dunn, huh? So then I sat down right in front of these two gentlemen, and they walked out there, and I just felt like, wow, this man is a king. I had never seen a person like that. I didn't know who they were, no idea. So I sat down quickly and put myself in the lotus my legs in the lotus posture and thinking, you know, I'm a big yogi. I'll show these guys, you know. We got some yogis
Impress
here.
them.
You know, you're from India, but, you know, America's got something going too, you know.
Oh,
So
they
watch
got
me,
Indian. Okay.
you know. So it turns out that it was Adi Kairani and Mayerji who had
Wow.
come to
On their trip here
on
to
their
the
trip
West.
to the USA, and it was 1970, and it was approximately
Yeah.
a year after Meher Baba left his physical form.
Yeah.
So they said Meher Baba, and spoke about Baba, and I don't know, something inside of me moved. You know, there was a connection. I knew that. You know, I said, "What is this Baba? What is it?" But of course, they went away. They never said another word. Even I don't think they said he was Avatar. I'm not sure.
Ah.
But anyway, I felt this Baba. I missed. He had just dropped his body. It's all over. But I felt really a connection. And I think.
Did you ask the professor, who are these men from India?
No, I didn't ask him anything, Judy. You know, I don't remember asking. I only remember seeing them, and that was my introduction to Baba. They said Baba's name, and I just was so sad that, you know, I couldn't run right away and meet this person, whoever these men were. I'd never seen anything like a shining king like this, you know. So we get back, and here I am sitting there in this lotus posture now, and I wait for them. My legs are killing me. I did not, but I'm not going to move, you know.
That would blow it.
No way. So I wait to finally to get done speaking, you know. Thank God. It's finished. And so I, you know, questions. You know, my hand goes up first. Of course, I'm right there. Right, they're right there in front of me. And Adi looks and says, "Yeah." I say, "Please, sir, tell me what Meher Baba said about yoga." And he looked at me with the biggest smile and said, "Baba said about yoga is you go." And all of a sudden I realized the ridiculousness of what I was doing. Me, you know what? Just the power of the way he said it to me.
Yeah.
I said, "You are just the biggest egomaniac you've ever seen." You know? So I unscrewed my legs. Got humble all of a sudden. Anyway, my life took a turn then. I went to work as a child care worker in a home for abandoned children. And there was a young girl there at the home, and we fell in love. And she was a minor. And so, I don't know what happened, but anyway, we left together. And I took her out of the home, and we left together and went up to Pennsylvania. And spent 2 months or 3 months up there. This is 1970, before I met Murshida. So it's 1971 or 2 now, right? So I'm living up there, and then all of a sudden it dawns on me, what did you do? I thought we were going to get married right away, you know, when we left. We're going to get married and I'll live happily ever after with this 13-year-old girl, but it didn't work.
How old were you then? You were
I was 22.
22 and
You
she
know,
was
just,
13.
yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, then I started thinking, hey, you're in trouble, mister. This is transportation of a minor across state line, da-da-da, statutory rape. You know, all these charges, you're going to jail for a long time as soon as you get found out. This, da-da-da. So I sent her back to Miami, and now I'm a refugee. I'm on the road hiding out. I can't call home. I can't go anywhere. I'm in a state of thinking, you know, that the FBI is looking
They're
for
going
me.
to come get you.
They're going to come. They're looking for me. As soon as they get me, 20 years, I said, I can't go to prison. You know, I just can't do that. So I'm on the road, no money. It's dead of winter in January, 1971 or something, I don't know. Anyway, I'm hitchhiking, and along comes Ward Parks. If you know Ward. You know. So he stops his car. Where are you going? I said, I don't know, but it's cold here. I want to go south.
I want to go south?
Yeah, he said, well, I'm going to Myrtle Beach. I said, well, please, can I catch a ride? Sure, get in, you know. So I got in with Ward and his brother.
Yeah.
Where are you going? I'm going to the Meher Baba Spiritual Center. I had no idea there was such a place, you know.
Isn't that amazing?
But
No
you
way.
had heard of Baba.
I'd heard of Baba, but I didn't know there was a spiritual center.
Yeah, yeah.
Adi never mentioned that I remember. So, of course, we go down and he gives me the everything and the nothing. And I read that book straight through. Ha, ha! You know, I'm all excited now. I'm going to go to Meher Baba's place.
What did you think when you got in the car and you asked where you're going and they say Meher Baba's place, do you remember the name?
Oh yeah, I immediately said, I know Mayor Baba, you know.
You did?
Yeah.
Were they surprised?
Yeah, oh, go, really? Oh, you know, I guess, you know, they
When
gave
you
me the
told them
book.
you heard Audie and...
I didn't say no, it was
Oh,
Adi, I just said I heard two guys.
Two guys.
Two men, you know, two
Talk
guys.
about Baba.
Jesse,
Right.
this was before I met you in Miami,
Right,
right?
because
Yes,
I'd
okay.
never,
This is,
They were
soon
the first
thereafter, I
Baba
got to
lovers you
Miami.
met. Ward and his brother were the first Baba lovers you met outside of
Adi.
Audie and Meherji.
Right. So we get to Myrtle Beach after a night's drive, I think it was, and in the morning, Ward calls up Elizabeth Patterson. Miss Patterson, I'm here with my friend. Oh yeah, sure, President Gordon. So, oh, by the way, we picked up a hitchhiker, and he wants to come. No. Elizabeth, no, this is not hitchhiker. Stop over. He can't come. So I said, what? I can't come. And I said, what can I do? You know, I'm sorry. Nice to meet you, and all that stuff. And I said, wait. Please, can I have Mrs. Patterson's phone number? So he gave me Elizabeth's phone number. Miss Patterson? Yeah. This Massa, blah, blah, blah. I heard Mayor. Okay, you can come to meet me.
You said you heard Mayor Baba in Florida.
Right, I
From
heard Mayor
from
Baba.
two men.
Right, something like that, Judy. You know, can't recall exactly my words, but it was something like I knew and I really wanted to go. He said, well, you can come to my house and meet me.
ah,
So here I go, you know, I'm totally, she must have known what state I was in. We go, just a mess and long hair. Anyway, she took me into her house and brought me in the back of Dilruba, this little patio. And then she talks about the alligators and everything like that. Asked me a few little questions about myself, nothing deep, you know, nothing to find out, yeah, he's guy's on drugs, you know, he's a fugitive and all, nothing to, you know.
No druggie on the run
Right.
from the feds.
Yeah, right. She didn't ask that. So I didn't have to confess anything, you know, she was so kind.
Were you
And-
using drugs at that time?
Yeah.
What
oh,
were you
big
using?
time. Everything.
but we all were, and we were all fugitives
Yeah.
on the run, and lots of hitchhikers came then.
I
Yeah.
hitchhiked everywhere too. Go ahead.
I heard
So-
I heard the same thing from Gil Alvarado, that he didn't even know it was there and he just hitchhiked up.
Well, Craig
Come on.
Lawn, that's how I met him at
Same
the
here.
center. He was hitchhiking and he was smoking pot and all that, and then finally ended up at the center. I was there when that happened.
Okay, so Jesse,
Then
she's asking you,
she's asking me, you know, a few mundane questions, but not much. And then she's talking about the alligators in the lake and the raccoons and all these other things, you know, that. But I had the feeling all the time she's feeling out, who is this guy, you know what I mean? Or she must have known immediately, of course, Elizabeth. So then after a nice interview with her, she says, you can go on to the center. So, wow. So I go around it was then the gateway was in that log cabin, what was it called? You know, anyway, on duty was Jane Haynes. My God. So I went straight from Elizabeth to see Jane, and Jane was on duty. Wow, those of you who've met Jane must know that, wow. She was really, Baba's love radiated through Jane so much. So I got in there and Jane looked at me and she gave me a hug that I know came from Baba, because something inside of me broke loose, you know, and for the first time I felt real love. I said, this woman, I don't even know her, and I feel she loves me so much. You know?
unconditional.
Yeah. So anyway, that happened, and that just moved me, and I cried, and I went out to the center and spent 2
You
weeks.
cried when, right, that
Oh yeah,
time?
I broke down right there.
Oh.
It was like a big scene for me. I'm so nervous, you know, from thinking I'm
Yeah.
going to prison. I'm going to.
Oh, you're still,
That's
thinking you
always
were
in
in
my
the
mind.
hot
You know, I can't call home. I can't go anywhere. You know. So Jane gives me that hug. I go 2 weeks out to the center and read Baba's discourses. Stay with Ward in some little room, and you know, just I guess it was honeymoon time. I fell in love with Baba then. He always loved me, but really he showed me that. That's how I came to really find out. And then it so happens that I was afraid to call home, of course, but I finally did. from a phone booth, thinking that my father's phone was tapped. And that, you know,
You could run.
yeah, and I could try it on the phone and get away, just ask him quick, and he'd say, it's tapped, you know, and I would be able to escape before they, this paranoia, I mean, really extreme. So, my father, yeah, but no one's been, they haven't even been, they called, they came, said something, but they haven't been looking for you. I said, what? That's the first place they would look, of course, is, you go to your family home, it's the kid here, No. So I said, it turns out that, Baba turned the key somehow or another, and charges were never pressed. They knew what happened, the authorities all knew what happened, but charges were never pressed, so. Baba got me through that somehow. I don't know how he did it. But anyway, so that freed me of that. And then, of course, I met the people in Miami and was in the Miami group, and what a wonderful time that was. Just coming to Baba. It was the honeymoon. I was so in love and, so free. And I remember we used to have the meetings, and sometime we would just, after the meeting, I remember just getting in the Jeep and driving all the way up to South Carolina from Miami, just on a lark, We had a lot of fun. It was beautiful.
Say where the meetings were and who held them.
Bill and Peggy Stevens held the meetings on Key Biscayne in their lovely home, and we would all sing and just we were a lot of young kids. We had a great time, and old people too. Bill and Peggy were not young children.
Was Charlie Nana there too?
Charlie came occasionally. It was,
Yeah, I thought he might have been there then too. Yeah,
no doubt.
no doubt.
So anyway, 1972, I go into the Peace Corps, Brazil. So Baba ships me off to Brazil. Now I'm full of Baba. I'm devoted to Baba. Oh, no.
I thought you had to have a college degree to be in the Peace Corps.
Well, Judy, before I went, you did. My cousin was a placement officer of the Peace Corps at that time. And he hand walked my application through. I didn't have it. I had a 2-year degree. In some associate in arts degree. So, going back though, the really important thing that happened in my life was right after I heard about Baba, went to that first Baba meeting, someone said, well, Baba's not here, but he didn't leave behind, but he authorized one person that, had his authority to be a real teacher. Who's that? I said, she says, his name is Murshida Ivy Deuce, and she runs the order called Sufism Reoriented in San Francisco. I said, Ivy Deuce? Yeah? And there was a woman named Eleanor who was a Sufi. And she told me, oh, this Murshida is really, I said, well, I got to see her right now. So I wrote a postcard that very day. I heard about Murshida Deuce, got her address, and said, I'm coming to see you. I'll be here in about, as soon as I could hitchhike across. I'll be at your doorstep. So as soon as I get there, I had her number. Eleanor gave me her number. So I called Murshida, and Murshida answered the phone. I said, hello, who's this? I said, you must have got my postcard. It's Massa. Oh, who? She said, I'm in seclusion. I'm not seeing anybody. I said, what? Murshida, please, I beg you, da-da-da, blah, Mayor Baba. She said, okay then.
And Mayor Baba.
No, I know Mayor Baba and all this.
Yeah.
And so she says, okay, you can come in 3 weeks. So I came in 3 weeks to see Murshida. And she just lovingly had me into her apartment and kept me there for 2 hours. And that started, for me, what was a 10-year relationship with Murshida that was the most meaningful relationship, I had going with anyone. She would write me letters, and I'd just like to read the first letter she wrote. It'll just take a minute. This is 1971. She wrote this from, she had an apartment on Sutter Street in California. My dear
The center
Jason.
was.
Huh?
The center was on Sutter Street.
Oh, then her house was maybe on the big hill there, or maybe, yeah, it wasn't Sutter Street then, it was another address. My dear Jessie, I'm extremely sorry that when you brought the tender little greens to the apartment, Jung Ha did not know that you were not just a messenger, I would have been glad to see you for a few minutes, and if you happen to come into town before leaving in July, please let me know ahead of time, because I would be glad to have a chat with you. I do hope that you will enjoy your work in Brazil, if that is what you want to do. In Brazil, they speak Portuguese instead of Spanish, so perhaps you should get one of those dual small dictionaries to help you. If there is anything I can do to be of help, please call on me. With many thanks for the greens and your thought of me, ever sincerely, Murshida. This was the first letter I got of a correspondence that we had for 10 years, where I wrote her every too many times with every little thing that went on in my life, and Murshida always answered me.
That's
With
very
these, she was like
special.
everything I said. And just to continue a little bit, I'll
Yeah,
just
so go back
do
to
my
when you
immersion.
first go back to where, I'm trying to get more details. When you first met Murshida and she said, come back in 3 weeks, where were you staying?
Oh, yeah.
Where were you
I was
staying?
just staying, I don't know, I was staying in Berkeley, on Telegraph Hill, serving food in the loaves and dishes, and then I was up in Marysville in the Sierra Mountains, just hanging out.
Whatever.
Yeah,
waiting
whatever.
for that
All I
time.
had then was a sleeping bag and a jacket. That was my total possessions of the whole world. So, I didn't have a lot to carry around, or I
Yeah.
just went from here to there. 20-something years old, wow.
So 3 weeks passed and you went back to see
I went back
Murshida.
to see Murshida.
And what happened then?
Well,
You went inside her apartment.
yeah, I went inside her apartment. I rang the bell. I was there 2 hours earlier, 3, home waiting. But anyway, I rang the bell. She let me into her apartment, and she so graciously welcomed me, and she sat me down, and she asked me my date of birth, and she looked at my ephemeris. She looked in her ephemeris to read my
Astrology.
my astrological things. So she did that and told me, she said, your chart is too easy. You don't have any problems. It's been true, But she says, now my chart is very difficult, And then she told me at that point that the book I should read is The Wayfarers, and keep that book around me and study that book. And I have since then. And then she did also, I'll go on, she did my son's chart after he was born. I'd like to read one more letter from Murshida. You'll kind of get the idea. Now I'm in Brazil, right? I'm gone, and we're in correspondence. This is just a short note to let you know that I am feeling better, and I wish to thank you for your prayers. I was delighted to see the pictures of the children, and I am sure that because you want to be obedient to Baba's wishes, you will succeed. It's not easy to subdue our low desires, but it can be done. You should not get discouraged when we slip, but just be more determined to overcome. I cannot think of a better way to serve Baba than to do what you are doing. Baba's love for children is very great, and if you can start them out in life knowing that what love is and who Baba is, one could not ask for more. Do your very best, and Baba will help you. We are closing our school for the summer, but if you need anything in the way of books, you can let me know. With heartfelt wishes for your spiritual progress and the success of your plans for the little children, I am yours and Baba, Murshida.
Wow.
So, what can I say about thing I'll just read the last letter that Murshida wrote me, because there's more in me.
What year was this, the last letter?
Last letter is the day before she died. She wrote me a letter.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And what year is that,
This is,
Jesse?
Murshida died 27 August 1981. 29 August 1981, sorry. And this letter is dated 28
Almost 10
August.
years after you met her, huh?
Right.
I didn't know that. Okay, go
Right.
ahead.
And when I read this letter, I knew. Nobody told me that Murshida dropped her body, but I knew immediately. Because every single letter that she wrote me, my dear Jesse, okay? And this was the last letter. Dear Jesse. As soon as I read that, I said, she's gone. No more my.
Yeah.
Ah.
Thank you for taking the time to let me know how you and Marijuana are doing. I am so pleased that you are in a lovely place and beginning a new, interesting assignment. With all good wishes for your success in these new phases of life, in His loving hands, Murshida.
Talk loud.
You have to talk louder, that was, can you read it
Read that
again?
again.
Yes.
Please read it louder.
Okay.
It was drifting.
Dear Jesse, thank you for taking the time to let me know how you and Mirwan are doing. I'm so pleased that you are in a lovely place and beginning a new, interesting assignment. With all good wishes for your success in these new phases of life, in His loving hands, Murshida. So that was Murshida's. Well, my connection with Murshida is because we're still connected, definitely. Very
That
great.
was the day before she died.
Yeah. It was just amazing how I absolutely knew
It
with
is.
certainty.
Just by the heading itself that it was her way of, somehow she knew too. It was, so
We were-
before you jump for these 10 years from the
Yeah.
time you first met her, so after you met her, did
Right.
she give any suggestion of were you on drugs at that time too?
Yes.
Okay, so after you met her, did she give any suggestions on course of your life, or did she just try and bring it out of you?
No,
or what
I
you might
asked
be
her,
interested
Judy, I said, oh, Murshida, do you think I should be a Sufi? She said, no. Devin, you know Murshida, she didn't fool around. She was like Elizabeth, it was just straight from Baba.
Yeah,
There's no wavering around. You can move away from the center. No, you have to. So anyway, yeah. So then after that, I went to the Peace Corps.
Did she give you any direction, anything, or what, did she make any suggestions? Or
She
did
asked me
you
to
say-
read the Wayfarers.
And then you left after the 2 hours? Was there any?
Yeah, I left after the 2 hours, and then.
She just said, stay in touch, let me always know
Yeah,
where you
now
are.
we're in touch. You know what I mean, and that was that. So
And then
that
you
was-
went,
then I went. Then I got my invitation to join the Peace Corps in Brazil.
where were you living at that time?
I was in San Francisco. I was in the mountains.
You were still there.
Still
in San
there, still
Francisco,
hanging around.
In Northern California,
Right.
and your brother contacted you? I mean, your
My cousin.
Your cousin.
My cousin was director, and I put in an application, and somehow or another, they said, yes, Brazil. So I said, okay, Baba. So I went, and Robin, this is like, I got my invitation, and here I am now getting ready to go to Brazil, and I'm getting ready to go onto the plane, and here it is. Don't worry, be happy. I look on the post. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting in my chair now. I'm in Miami, getting ready to fly to New Orleans, where we're going to have our staging, and the hostess brings up to me a little box that I still have, and inside of it is one piece of Baba's hair, this long.
What?
Robin brought it for me.
Oh,
You remember
You
that?
remember? She doesn't remember.
No, I mean, I
Exactly.
remember our
Do you remember that?
relationship, but I don't remember
Do you
that.
remember that gold? It was a golden piece of Baba in early
Uh-huh.
days, not a little piece.
No,
of...
because in those days, they were giving us clumps.
Oh my God!
And Monty
said-
gave me Baba's handkerchief and a clump of Baba's hair. So, yeah.
So I got a piece. I just said, "Wow, Baba!" On the plane.
She gave,
Oh,
wait a minute,
wow.
how did you get it?
The hostess gave it to me. Robin was going to see me off, but she didn't make it before I got on
So
to
you gave it
the.
to the hostess to give him? You
Right.
don't remember
Robin.
that, okay.
I totally. How else would I have gotten it? How could you forget that?
I don't know. Well, you know, some things are
My
a blur,
gosh.
right?
Anyway, that happened.
Mananash.
So to continue the Baba, just to go along with Baba's hair, Baba doesn't like being mixed up with other things. So I put this hair in a pouch, and I got more hair back. I cried so hard that within 3 weeks, Baba gave me more from Mina Brussman.
What, oh, you lost her hair?
I lost it. Here's the scene. I
Oh,
put and I had it 20, my most precious possession, of course. I've got it right here. I've got all things don't count. Baba's hair counts, you know, as far as having something. So I put it in this little pouch like this one. But then I decided I'd mix in a little portion of Sweet Mother from Aurobindo, her little thing, and I put in a little this. Oh, Baba said, "What is this? All this, and all this crap in here?" I mean, he must have said that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
what happened?
So I went to Elora and I took off the necklace just to wash my face. I didn't want it to get dirty, to get wet. Wash my face, turn around, and it's gone.
Oh, wow.
Someone had picked it up. Ah! End of the world for me. So I tore the whole place apart, had everyone in the whole place just in, the people that were with me just said, this guy's a lunatic. Anyway, I felt I lost it there at Elora. And I knew why immediately. Bob said, don't mix me up with nobody. It was a lesson for me. But I cried so hard that I went right back and I just cried to everybody how I lost Baba's hair.
Oh.
And then Mina said, okay, don't worry. I'm going back and I'll send it.
Nina Bressman?
Yeah. She had a club of it too from the early times when they were passing out hair.
Yeah. I brought back from my first trip, which is probably where when I got the hair, I also brought back some touch buttons, and I gave
sit
one
over there and talk with you and talk. So they
Well,
can
it's
see
not
you
a big talk,
talking. I know, but at least they
Okay,
can see
all
you
right.
talking.
but mwah. I brought back some touch buttons as well, Baba touch buttons. I gave one to Will David, and he lost it. So I don't understand what's up with that.
I don't know. I don't either.
Okay.
Thanks, Robin. So I'm off to Brazil, and I meet a very beautiful Brazilian woman.
Did you get your hair back from Nina yet?
Yeah, I got it. I still have it.
No, you got it before you left?
Yeah, 3 weeks later I had it back. But this is, way after Brazil. I had the hair all that time through Peace Growth through 1990. That's when I lost it or something like that. So I had it for 20 years. It wasn't like I got it and lost it immediately. Then, Peace Corps, and I met a woman, we got married, I had my son Marwan was born. And when he was born, I just held up to Baba and said, is this your child, Baba? And I don't know what to say about Brazil, but there I was, raising a child now, and came back to the USA. And after 5 years in Brazil, as Peace Corps volunteer in the interior of Brazil, working in an orphanage, and raising my son, all the time with Baba, of course. But one thing did happen in Brazil that tested it. One very big test, and that was I had a daughter who is named Teresa. And I love that little girl. She's the sweetest little thing you ever saw, black hair. And she got sick, okay? Holding her mouth. We're doing everything. But there's no medicals, interior of Brazil, there wasn't electricity, there wasn't a plumber, there wasn't no doctor, there was nothing. So, anyway, went through a lot, and I could go through the whole story, but she died. She died in my arms, and I'm holding a candle, taking Baba's name, and she died. All of a sudden, I just got so mad at Baba, I couldn't believe it. I said, you did this to me? You let this baby die in my, I said, how could you do that, Baba? How could you do this to me? It was just like, I didn't, I just said, we're through. If you can do this, if you're this mean, I don't need this, because I was just, So I took all Baba's photos, turned them around on the wall, and then, I just didn't know what to do. And then, then there was no Baba, no baby, how empty is that? So gradually, of course, what happens, I had to, finally said, Baba, I know you had a reason for it and all this stuff. But it was a test for me, whether I could believe that he would do that, into my life, into this baby. It was just a baby to grow up and be a woman and, have her father. It didn't happen. Anyway, I got through Brazil. Marwan is with me now. We come back to USA. I'm a school teacher for 20 years in Florida.
Where did you go in the USA? You came back?
I came back to Florida. No, my wife never came back with me. We were divorced after 2 years, and only my son came. So it was Marwan and I who came back, and we're living together now in Gainesville, or near Gainesville, Florida. small town called High Springs, and I get a job teaching school, 5th grade,
Did
20
you go
years.
back to school?
I went from, yeah, in 1976 I got my Bachelor of Science degree from University of Florida.
So when you came back, you went back to school?
Yeah, and came back, I went back to school, I went to University of Florida and got my bachelor's degree in agriculture, and then went for graduate school to Clemson, South Carolina, and had a master's degree in horticulture. And it's funny how I got to Clemson because I never even knew what Clemson existed. One day I was going up to the center, and in Savannah, there's a Clemson experiment station. So I passed by and said, Clemson, huh? So I thought that was where the university was located. So I said, wow, this is just a shop in Baba Center. If I'm going to go to graduate school, I'll go here, you know? So I applied to one place only, Clemson. But of course, it's on the other side of South Carolina. It's an 8-hour drive up in the mountains,
Exactly.
Hicks, you know? I'm thinking I'm going to Savannah. I'll be 2 hours from the center. Anyway, I got accepted, got an assistantship, finished my degree there, and then took on the public teaching career. And
Where did you teach?
I taught in Alachua, Florida, in a very small rural school. It was just a dream job. Of course, has been so kind to me always. He gave me a job where I could just drive on a little country road and back every summer off, teaching little children, which I love. So I did that. And
What did Merwan living with you that whole time?
yeah, Marwan's
So
living
he
with
was
me, and
going
I'm
to
by
school
myself.
in a
He's
little
going
country
to school. He's going to school, and I'm doing the job, and we're making it somehow. You know, so then I think in 1989 was my first trip here to India, and wow, you know, India. I'd been to the center 100 times. I met Kitty, you know, and I met Jane, and I met Phyllis Ott, and Harold Rudd, and Darwin, and I saw Ralph, and all the rest, you know, everyone who was there at the center at that time, you know, I had very good acquaintances with, time to spend time with all of them. Margaret Crass was there then, and especially Kitty. Oh, just to retrogress a little bit, because this is kind of interesting, I think. I get to Brazil, right, a Peace Corps volunteer now. I'm scot-free from this investigation, right, with that happened, I'm thinking. But I get to Brazil, and it's time to swear in for everybody. And everyone goes to swear in, and they say, oh, not you, not you. 80 people swear in, and I'm standing there, you know, don't take the oath. He said, what, there's some little discrepancy here we found out in the background check or something like that, you know.
Wow.
Back to Washington, D.C., you got to go see the Peace Corps director.
Wow.
So they sent me back to Washington, but they sent me back via Miami, so I had a chance to go to Baba Center, and I saw Kitty. And I told Kitty what happened. I said, Kitty, I'm in the Peace Corps over there, but, you know, I had this little indiscretion. She already knew me to have that kind of thing. Anyway,
She already what?
I don't want to get into that.
She already knew you what?
She already knew me, Kitty, very well. And so she said, what? I said, yeah. And she said, well, okay, then don't worry. They'll send you back, but don't let it happen again. I said, wow. I mean, she knew. So I thought that was very interesting. So they sent me back to Washington. Oh, look at this record here. You're working in an orphanage? Yes, but it's only boys, you know.
It's only boys.
Yeah, it was only boys there, you know, there wasn't any girls. I said, it's only boys, I'm really doing good work. So, oh, well, I see that you've had a spiritual transformation. The FBI finds this out.
Wow.
Yeah, you've had a spiritual transformation. And, you know, you become like now a devotee and all pure and all that. I'm letting you go back.
Wow.
Even though you lied all over on your application. You know.
I
lied all over your.
I didn't lie all, but I didn't
This was
omitted
the-
that.
It was the head of the
Peace Corps director
and
himself.
this is from an FBI file
Yeah, he's got the whole file there, you know,
with this little
with their whole
incident.
investigation of what happened, you know. They knew everything that happened.
But that was when you were
Yeah, when I was younger.
20 years old or
22,
21
yeah,
or 2.
22, and now I'm 25 or 23.
And you sent her back home.
Yeah, I sent her back home. You know, I wasn't caught.
You sent her back when you realized what a stupid fool you were.
Yeah, of
And-
course.
and-
I still am.
And then
Some things don't change.
Yeah, what can I say?
so
Anyway,
they saw that you were going to be working in we're going to be working in an orphanage.
right, and I
You would
did.
be, and they knew that it was only boys and that you
He
had already
did.
shown
And Baba
the-
turned the key.
Baba
Kitty
turned-
said it, and you know, and Baba turned the key, and they allowed me to go back. And then after that,
You could swear in after that.
I
Never
swore it.
did.
I went straight to the I went to a special school, the Brazilian capital. They sent me to Brasilia to see the Peace Corps